Welcome back to another One Piece chapter, and oh boy, Oda has brought us a absolute cinema of a chapter, and I mean it too, because in this chapter we find out that, well, Scopper Gaban and Rayleigh, Dark King Rayleigh, or not just Roger's two left hand and right hand pirates of Roger, Goldie Roger on his crew. Come on now. So we are back with another banger chapter. So One Piece chapter 1048, titled Ronja. Or I think that's how I pronounce it. Ronja. And we're picking up back up where we left off with a first victim of, well, one of the victims of the 10 children that were selected to be, because last chapter, let's just say Saint Summers gave a little bit of detail saying, well, if you don't comply to our demands, basically, we're going to start by killing each and every children that the names I call upon, starting with the top, starting from 10 and working our way down, or I think it's 1, 2 and all the way up. I think he's doing it. But first person is Ronja, which is the one with the space between her center of the teeth, and is Elder Draw's granddaughter, unfortunately. So she ends up saying, whoa, my legs, why this moving? Oh, by the way, Gonko has used her devil fruit to direct the kids that whoever's next is stepping forward. So Ronjo's is going all the way to where the arrow leads, and she has to stand there. And Gonko, I gotta admit, she has perfect control where her targets are stopping at what point of the arrow, or at what on the point of the arrows. So the other children was like, where are you going? You're going to fall. And she basically tells her, well, I don't know, basically. I don't know. And she tells Yova that she don't worry, it's be alright. With a smile, by the way. So she's showing no fear, which she shouldn't. So, like I said, she stops at the point of the arrow towards the edge where the arrow is out of. You know what I just said previously. So Gonko tells Summers, says, Summers, the first one is in position to drop. And he says, oh, set it up so they'll be able to hear that brat all over Elbaf. And Saint Summers says this, now then, it's your call. You've got 30 seconds before we start tossing these whelps over the edge. Mountain Beard Draw, send word to those teachers. Order them to set fire to their school building and the library. And Draw, everybody was like, damn. Elder Draw, damn. You gotta do something. Stop this. Or don't obey him. We gotta do something. And Draw's like, well, shit. Don't know, basically. And the other giants, the parents, apparently, all arguing, and all of them are in agreement and saying we can't bend the knee to the government like this, because if we do that, it just makes us look weak, and it just shows that we're bending the knee to the government. And besides, one of the parents says they got our children hostage, basically. And then you see in the next panel, Robin, Chopper, don't forget they're still in Saul's hair, hiding Saul's hair. So Robin tells Chopper, says, well, stay put while I go and rescue our crewmates, and that'll be over with. And Chopper's like, you're going to do what? Robin, you shouldn't attempt to face those two without understanding their abilities. But then why are you? And Robin just says, I just can't keep my emotions in check any longer. So Robin's making the good choice. So Chopper, I understand, because if Chopper goes with Robin, it's like I said last chapter. If Scopper, you know what? We don't know, like I said before, we don't know if Scopper Gaban is faster than, how can I say this, We don't know how fast he is to get to Robin and Chopper on time, and the kids. So, even though, you know what? Let me just say this. I absolutely think Scopper Gaban can get to point A to B immediately, just like that. But he's on the King of the Pirates crew, right? So, anyways, it keeps going. You're going to kill the kids? What the hell is wrong with you? Nami says this, by the way. Even the world's worst criminals stoop this low, using children as hostages. You keep forgetting these are celestial dragons, by the way. So you guys keep forgetting that. I don't know who says this prick. I think Nami says that. Anyways, not Scarper Gaban, but Scarper Gaban already left because Ripley told Scarper Gaban to go help them. Do whatever you can. Just get your ass over there. And Scarper's like, oh, bet I'm on my way. It ain't gonna take me even a minute to get my ass over there. And right after you left, Frankie said, all right, I'm about to go towards and help them out where the rest of my crew is. And Ripley said, oh, wait, I'm coming with you, by the way. And Dora and Bry said, we'll split up, basically. One group will fight the monsters and the other group will go rescue the kids. So Ripley and Frankie is going to go rescue the kids, and Dora and Broggy are going to stay there and deal with the monsters, basically. So that's a good plan. Anyways, everybody says to branch 8, and St. Summers said Summers, but it says Summers. Anyways, Summers says one more thing. When you burn the school and the library down, you are forbidden to rescue even one book from the flames. Why, you ask? We intend for certain things to burn, meaning the voice knowledge of the voice century, O'Hara, wherever O'Hara was researching on the island. And right before Say Summer says anything else, Robin comes with the devil fruits that Slim Floral, and a hand pierce and hits St. Summers in the face and knocks St. Summers back. Everybody sees Robin and says, Robin, you're alright. And Jinbei warns Robin and said, careful, we still haven't worked out what those guys are capable of. And she says, oh, I know. So here we go. Robin versus which they ain't gonna be close, we'll just tell you. I'm telling you. So Robin uses a technique where basically breaks people's backs. In the anime, I don't know if Robin kills her opponents, which I'm pretty sure with this technique, you basically are breaking people's backs and killing them. So, St. Summers realized that you are, and Robin breaks St. Summers' back. I think his neck too. And I don't know why Nami's saying it. Said, Robin, you did it. He's been snapped in half. What do you think? Do you not realize that 2 chapters ago you tried this, and now with the same thing that happened to Gunko, they regenerated, and Robin's thinking that they're immortal, we can't beat them. And Say Summers got back up and snapped his neck back, basically, or regenerated his neck by snapping it back, I think. And he says, Hellbath, can you hear me? 20 seconds remain until the first kid falls. And Usopp said, damn it, he's a zombie too? Like I said, all of them has the regenerative powers. Now, before he gets back up and does something else, Robin jumps on top of Summers and they fall off the cliff while Robin uses her ability and a bunch of arms wrap around her and wrap him too. And he said, whoa there, what are you doing? Don't tell me you got a crush on me. And Say Something realized that, well, oh shit. As soon as he falls down, it's like, oh, that's not good. And then as soon as he realized, he said, what, you jumped off the edge? Do you have a death wish? Love me all you want. I'm not joining you in a suicide pact. And then the others, Robin, what are you doing? No way. She's taking him down with her, as Usopp and Jinbei says that. And then Robin says, well, I know full well you're supposedly immortal and you've eaten the thorn fruit to boot, but we can only save those children if your invisible thorns are gone. That's true. And St. Summers like, ho ho, so you figured that dragging me down there will take the kids out of my range. Here's the tricky part. St. Summers says, "You're a one true lady." And St. Summers uses his dough fruit and pierces Robin. However, Robin, that was a clone Robin, and the real Robin is helping the Straw Hats rescue. Real Robin is helping the Straw Hat untying the Straw Hats, and everybody's praising Robin with her quick thinking. And Summers, while falling, said, "10 seconds left." And Robin said, "Is that guy's voice?" And with quick thinking, I'm guessing while he was falling, he shot his whip vine into the trunk, and that wrote a grappling hook, and he just suspends in the air while having that. But Lee Summers says this, "Answer me, Gerald. Hey, Gonko, let them hear the kid's voice." And Gonko's like, "Speak up." And he says, "Elder Gerald, I love the school. I've got friends there." And Elder Gerald listens to that. It's like, "Oh, my granddaughter. Ronja's my daughter." Oh, wait, no. I don't know why I said that's Elder Gerald's granddaughter. I don't know why I was thinking. No, that's another giant's daughter. So she continues to say this, "I love the library too. We learn lots and lots of stuff about the world from the books there. And the teachers made sure we learned important stuff." Mind you, what I said before too, Nami has a disdain for people that put children and kids in danger. A disdain. She don't tolerate that shit with anybody that tries to do that. We've seen a lot of that. So Nami seeing this was like, and she continues, like, not to cause trouble for others and not to do things that others hate. If saving me means that the school and the library go away, I think everyone will hate that. It'll be better if I just fall. Don't worry, Elder Gerald. I've always been lucky. I'm sure I'll be okay. And she does this smiling, crying, y'all. And Elder Gerald screams, "Hanj! Please burn down the school!" And then you see in the library, and he says, "The library too. Please set it all on fire." But, well, not but he says, and when he says, Anj says, "Yes, sir." And then St. Summers pops up behind Robin, uses his Del fruit to ensnare Robin in a bunch of thorns. And he has his sword out with a bunch of thorns on it, literally. And I'm thinking it's covered in hockey. So this shit is going to hurt and hit. So St. Summers says before he takes a strike at Robin, "I love that expression on your face, Nico, Robin." And then the other said, "Robin, run, get out of there." But before Summers get the hit on Robin, you see in this panel a blitz towards where Robin and the Straw Hats and the kids are. And it is Scopper Gaban. And he's making a beeline. I'll say this is far faster than Shanks, where he had that oh shoot, what was that? He has that, oh man, what was that hockey called? But anyway, when he sees in the future, not future, but when he saw in the future, and then he saw a bunch of his ships getting blasted one by one by Captain Mid, and when he saw that, Ben Beck already knew. He just stood there. I was like, "Go ahead." And Shanks got his sword ready and on his hilt, and he just boom, straight shot to Captain Mid, and one shots him, which he falls all the way and falls down on the ship. That's how that went. This is something Scopper Gaban is doing, but it's serious. He's making the beeline towards 8 Summers. And let me tell you, when he got there super fast, he had his axe out. He chopped one of St. Summers' hands off, and St. Summers like, "What the hell? It's not regenerated." And but Scopper Gaban says, "Long time no see." And he screamed, and St. Summers realized who that is. He said, "Scopper Gaban!" And then after that, he goes past St. Summers with a slab with Summers having fallen down, blood splattering, with an X. I think it was a giant slash on him. You know how cold that is? He's here, and you just have Scopper Gaban pissed off face. And if you compare this to what's this with Rayleigh, oh man, when Rayleigh had to bail out, not bail out, but rescue one of the Straw Hats or keep one of the admirals occupied. Oh baby, no. This is similar to, well, let me continue. But anyways, he's here, chapter 1048, and I heard, don't know if it's true, but we have a break next week. So we won't get the chapter until the 22nd. If I'm wrong about that now, well. Final thoughts. Well, I guess I was right. Last chapter on my last video, I did say at the end, if Robin can't beat Saint Summers by itself, it's either Chopper will have to step in and wait until Scopper Gaban to get there, or she has to hold out long enough for Scopper Gaban to make a beeline towards her. So I think Robin held out long enough for Scopper Gaban to get to her position, which in my opinion, for her to drop Saint Summers or get the jump on him like that, and then having her clone drop down with him, in my opinion, that probably bought her some minutes or seconds at least for her to go to the Straw Hats. Because in my opinion, matter of fact, what took you so long to unravel all the, I guess they're all in mines. That's probably what took her so long. Scarborough, but the MVP of this chapter is Scopper Gaban, I gotta admit. Because in my opinion, I was thinking it wouldn't take Scopper Gaban no less than a minute to get there. But when I saw that panel where Scopper Gaban was going balls deep, going fast, putting pedal to the metal, and getting there to where Robin was excellent. Because this proves that Scopper Gaban is not holding back, for one thing, and he's serious. And another thing is he knows Saint Summers. So this is basically, when did they counter? So in my opinion, Saint Summers and Scopper Gaban have met each other probably back then, I'm guessing. So I'm guessing it has to be God Valley, or during somewhere the fight between God Valley, because if you remember on God Valley, I forgot what chapter it was, but it was doing the backstory of Kuma, which I'm not gonna lie, when that episode comes out on the anime, right now we on Egghead, and after this video, another video is gonna come out, which this one will be about the One Piece episode, my whole opinion about it, because hey, Saint Saturn popped someone in the head. Let's just say that. He got a headshot off, and it's not good. Oh man, it's any normal person would have been gone. But anyways, back to this chapter, my final thoughts. So Saint Summers, I gotta say, met Scopper Gaban on God's Valley, and they had a brief fight. I'm guessing it was probably a three-way fight, because you had War Government / Dragons on that island, Roger Paris and the Rocks crew. All three of them was on that island, I'm pretty sure. And I'm guessing through that exchange that they were having, they bumped into each other and was like, well, what's good, Saint Summers? Summers was like, no. Or, well, he probably wasn't scared. He probably was confident, and that happened. So another thing is Scopper Gaban was able to, I'm guessing, stop the regeneration of Saint Summers' powers somehow. I'm betting that Scopper Gaban used hockey into that, infused with his axe. But it was probably a different. You kind of wonder, Because if you think back to Sabaody, where Rayleigh was teaching Luffy the hockey abilities, it was teaching Luffy all about hockey and all that stuff that he needs to learn for the new world. I'm thinking Rayleigh is and Scopper Gaban knows how to do that, but I don't know if the reason that Rayleigh didn't teach Luffy that same technique that Scopper Gaban used was only because Luffy wasn't going to encounter those type of people yet. Because if he did early on, shoot, then I don't know. But another thing I wanted to say too before I end this out, Gaban, I gotta say this too, has not lost his edge. Because the way he traveled to Ripley all the way to in a quick set in a hot minute or a hot second shows you how serious the situation is. Because I'm pretty sure he put all his speed into those, and it's probably because he's pissed too. Because for one thing, you invaded an island on Elbath. Two, you trying to injure pretty much his wife and kids. His no, no, you know where you really fucked up at Saint Summers, because what was his name? I had his name, but you have his son with, yeah, you have his son in one of your hostages. When that's a list of people that a list of kids that's gonna have to kill themselves, but fall to take a dive into the abyss of the clouds. Yeah, good term. But yeah, another thing you should not do, because if you upset Scopper Gaban, you better be ready to rumble. And especially when you have his kids one of his kids. Well, his son, youngest son, and a suicide, not suicide, but in an attempt to jump some clouds. Let's just say that. So, yeah. But if you like this chapter, this video, subscribe and like, and comment down below if you think Saint Summers is going to face Scopper Gaban one-on-one. And who is going to come out of this alive, because these two have history in the past. And I'm going to lie, Saint Summers is kind of scared of Scopper Gaban right now. I mean, he's sweating a lot when he saw him. He's like, oh no. But thank you again, and see you next adventure. Laters.